Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici, welcome my friends. My name is Vincenzo and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. Well, we've been visiting Chinese pens, Indian pens, Italian pens, and we sometimes forget that closer to home are some wonderful fountain pen companies and manufacturers and that are often ignored, at least ignored by me. And one of those is Conklin. Now, Conklin in the past, unfortunately, has greatly disappointed me just because of the quality of their nibs. You can't say too many bad things about their pens. I mean, if we're going to rave about these Chinese pens that are going for $40, $50, well, maybe we should take a look at Monteverde and Conklin. And you'll see that at very reasonable price points, we can get some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful pens. And I thought I'd give a shout out to Conklin because they've come up with a pen that to me is probably their best pen in a long time. Look, they have some old vintage pens that are worth a fortune, don't get me wrong. And they've been around, forever, as we shall see. But lately, in the modern times, I would say that this pen, which is the 1898 Misto, I think is one of the best pens they've come up with in a long time, or at least it's my favorite Conklin pen. Okay, and I have a limited échantillonnage, as we say in French, or I don't have that many Conklin pens, and certainly I don't have some of their old vintage pens. But to me, this 1898 with that Yo nib, because they did change their nibs, may be something interesting that we should take a closer look at. So please stay tuned. Okay, so we're back with the pen. I thought I'd just show you how this new collection comes in. We're going to be reviewing two pens. In fact, I purchased, they come in three colors, orange, green, and purple. And I've purchased the orange and the green. And so we'll be reviewing those two. But for the sake of just the unboxing, they come into this, first of all, this is a classic, classic, yes and no, because we do have the Conklin 1898 collection. Cardboard sleeve, and that opens up with their classic box, and it's fake leather, but very nice quality. I mean, Conklin has always given us this nice quality in terms of their boxing. And when it opens up, there it is. That's the Conklin Misto Orange. We have the 1898. That is the pen. When we lift this, we see that there's some writing instructions and two cartridges. So that's very nice of Conklin. Very well manufactured, nice product, nice packaging. So we'll remove that from its box. Sorry about that. And we'll also be taking out the green version, and this is the orange version, if you will. As you can see, there's some wonderful resins. That's something I'd like to first concentrate on. Let's take them one at a time, okay, if you will. And we'll take a look at these one at a time. First of all, let's take a look at the green one first. And we're just going to concentrate on the resins. You can see that beautiful, just a beautiful mixture, multicolored. At the end of the day, we get the impression that green kind of is the base of all this resin, but as you could see, there's some very, very nice and varied colors there, ranging from blue to orange to red to white, light blues, and very, very nice, I would say. And this green version comes with a, I should turn around so we can see the name, Conklin, comes with the silver trimming. I really like that band, that 1898 band, as you can see, with some scroll work and with the 1898 pronounced. And the way it jumps at you with the black background, I think is a very nice touch. Um, there's just rounded cigar-shaped pen, rounded finials, with, you know, with that resin. Very, very nice. I've got to say, I am really, really impressed. I really like that. So that's the green one. Now let's take a look at the orange, which is my favorite, by the way, just because I like that rose gold. Again, let's just put that right side up. I really like that rose gold popping out there, especially in that band. And I think that this one has some even more interesting, and let me just see if I can get my camera to cooperate. Here we go. There's even some chatoyancy in that blue resin because, you know, on one side you get the blue and on the other side you get the dominance of the orange. There's also some translucency there. Let me just see if I could flash a light there and see if I can demonstrate that to you. Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, there is some depth to it, but at one point I saw you can almost see the inner workings of the pen. Okay, but let me tell you, I mean, I am very, very pleased with this collection and with this version of the Conklin 1898. I think that you know, resembling the primary manipulation pens, if you will, and we'll take a look at the, you know, pen comparison in just a few minutes. But I think this is just a gorgeous pen. Now, in terms of the clip, there's that classic spring clip, which is just beautiful. I mean, talk about some of the best clips. This and Visconti, and some other ones that have this spring-loaded sort of an clip is very nice touch. And on the clip you have the Conklin name on it. Isn't that wonderful? So that's the overall look outside. Let's take a look inside. First of all, how many turns? 1, 1.5, 2. So 2 turns, just slightly less than 2 turns. And that reveals what I'm so happy that Conklin has gone to Yowo for their nibs. And you could see that that nib is branded Conklin, and it's, you could see it says Toledo, USA, Conklin, and it's got that half moon opening there, which is a really nice touch. And in this one, of course, you got the rose gold. And in the other one, in the green version, you have the silver Yowo nib. Isn't that wonderful? And if we could just take a look at the resins, in this orange one, you could see that, you know, half is orange, you know, the grip part, and the other part is blue. And in this one, there's a variety of colors there on the grip section. Very nice, isn't it? I think it's just a gorgeous pen. In terms of comfort, very comfortable pen. A nice sized pen, I would tell you. These threads, there's a step down there, which is significant, but it does not, in my opinion, does not affect the writing experience at all. The threads, you can feel the threads, but they're not sharp. There is a little bit of a flare there on that section, on the grip section. The pen is just very, very comfortable. Not the biggest of pens, but a nice girth. Does it post? Actually, let me get its cap. It does post. Comfortably, yes, but not deeply. I think it stays there. Does it weight the pen? I think slightly. It becomes very long, but it's postable and it's comfortable. So for those of you who absolutely need to post, this should not be a problem. There you have it. So that's the posting. It is a cartridge converter pen. So if we can open it up, we got the steel part there. So this, I don't believe that this pen can be or should be eye dropped. There is no O-ring there, but it does close securely, I would say. And in terms of the the converter, it's a quality converter, if you will. Probably a Schmidt. I'm not sure, but probably a Schmidt converter there. Very nice. And actually, it's a twisted. I think you can. Yeah, it's a twisted one, so you can screw in. It's a screw-in converter. So I don't know if it's a Schmidt, but it's a screw-in converter, which is a very nice touch. Gives it that quality, if you will, that you see in some of the Italian pens, for example, and other pens. Okay, there you go. So very comfortable. Very, very nice. So that's the pens. What I propose is we do some size comparisons. Okay, we're back with a pen comparison. What I thought I'd do is just compare it to some of the other multicolored resin pens, most of which are primary manipulation pens, if you will, or resins. So you can see the two Conklins are there. This is the Christopher 13 from London Pen Company, which again has a green motif, so resembling quite a bit the Conklin Misto Green. This is a Navlar special edition. I think it's a Pen Chalet special edition, primary manipulation. This is the Studio Aga Khan that I purchased on Galen Leathers site. And this is the Christopher 14 from London Pen Company. There you have a capped comparison. And there is the uncapped and unposted pen comparison. It rivals with the Navlar. Navlar is a little bit thinner in terms of girth. So the Misto is slightly thicker, if you will. It also very similar to the Studio Aga Khan, but smaller than the two London Pen Company pens. So that's the uncapped, unposted comparison. For a posted comparison, you could ignore the Navlar because it doesn't post, but the rest gives you a pretty good indication of where this pen is situated, smaller than the two London Pen Company, and equivalent to the Studio Aga Khan. So there you have it. But in terms of girth, you could see that the Conklin is probably girthier, if there's such a word, than most of them, and maybe equivalent to this Christopher 14 from London Pen Company. So there you have the posted comparison. We will put on the screen the measurement, some measurements, and then proceed to the writing sample. Okay, so we're back for the writing sample. First of all, the inks that I will be using today are two Van Diemen inks from their Night collection. The one is a green with some, I believe it's silver or gold shimmering. We'll see that hopefully in the writing sample, which is Enchanted Woods. And this orangey, again, golden shimmered ink is goes by the name of Bonfire Night. This is part of the Night collection, which I've reviewed extensively, and I will link in the description. You'll find a link to my reviews of these inks. Wonderful inks, Van Diemen's. I got to tell you, very reasonably priced, an Australian enterprise, and they do some very, very nice inks. So those are the inks, and just to give you an idea of what they look like, here are the two swatches. So you can tell that this Bonfire Night does have some shimmering there, and the same thing, it's a silver shimmer for this Van Diemen Enchanted Woods. I think that these two inks will go very nicely with those two pens. Hopefully they will. So As far as the journal, I've decided to use one of my old Obonichi journals, which has a Tomoe River paper, as you may know, and we'll put the two samples here. Okay, so first and foremost, let me just close up here so that you can get a best look at it. First of all, for the green, we'll start with the green, if you will. Okay, so this is Conklin 1898 Misto green. Misto green. The nib on this pen and on the other one, as a matter of fact, is it's a Yowo 1.1 stub Conklin branding. Just fabulous. The ink that we're using in this pen is Van Diemen's Enchanted Woods. I mean, what can I say, folks? It is a 1.1 stub, so obviously, but it's a gusher. It really, really is smooth. No problems whatsoever with this nib. Just very nice right out of the box, which I am happy to report, because oftentimes I did have some issues with the old Conklin nibs. Fast writing, no problem keeping up. It is a very smooth. It is very wet and constant. And you're starting to see some of the shimmer come out from the thickness of that stub, so which is very nice. Let me just proceed on this side with the other one, and we can do a rating in just a few seconds. Okay, so this is the Conklin 1898 Misto Orange. And the nib is a Yowo 1.1 stub Conklin branding. The ink is a Van Diemen's Bonfire, sorry, I forget the name. Bonfire Night. Now, I must say, I don't like this nib. There's something that's not right. It's either the ink or the nib. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it has it's a little scratchy. It is wet, but especially the side stroke is lacking a little bit of ink. The downstroke is not bad. It's the side stroke that leads me to believe that it's a little scratch. You can actually see it on the, here, you see that? Even on the downstroke, it's scratching the paper. You see that? And here, it's so thin, and it's not sharp. It's not sharp. When I mean sharp, it's not on the ball. So this nib needs tuning. Just goes to show you that they don't all come out perfect out of the box. Minor, but needs tuning. So what I will do is, if you give me just a few seconds, I'll see what I can do and I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. I did some fine tuning. It took me about a minute with some micro mesh. And let's see, I believe that I've, yeah, you see, now it's very smooth and wet and constant. I don't have that issue anymore. It's giving me more ink on the side strokes, and the downstrokes are not scratchy at all. It's giving me what I like. So I'm very happy with that. And you can see just a minor adjustment. But nonetheless, you can see that even it happens to the best of the nibs and it happens to the best of the companies. Now, let's see, how do we rate this pen? And I've now introduced a new way for me to rate, because I figured, just giving you 9 on 10, 10 on 10, 8 on 10 doesn't give you really an indication of what I like and I don't like, especially some people who might just go straight to the rating in terms of the video and they haven't seen the rest. So what do I like and what do I dislike about these pens? Well, I think the obvious like is the resin, especially on the orange. I'm not fond, frankly, of the resin on the green. I mean, I appreciate the effort, but I think the orange one has a lot more depth and chatoyancy than this green one. This green one appears to be, maybe it's the mixture of colors, but I prefer the orange. Now, dislike is a big word. It's very, very subjective, okay? The design, I'm pretty well neutral on. It's a classic cigar-shaped pen. So there's nothing to write home about. But what I like about the design, and we can put that in this column, is the band and the clip. So the trimmings are very, very nice. Okay. I like the build quality, very solidly built. Now, there always has been, my experience with Conklin pens has always been that although they're nice pens, they have a tendency to dry up on you, regardless of the ink that you use. Now, what I've noticed, and I want to see if you can see this, there is a step down in that barrel, and not the one that's really obvious because that's the metal, but there is a step down in the resin. Or you can see that there is a step there that should provide some sealing. So I'm hoping that this pen will not dry up, but the verdict is still out. So the seal I'll put in the middle, if you will, because I'm not sure what the end result will be. So, and do I have any other dislikes? Not really. I think ultimately these pens are, there is one thing that I don't like is the posting. For those of you who want to post, I mean, the post is there, okay? Don't get me wrong. You can post, but it posts crooked, as you can see. It it's just, it's a flimsy posting, and I don't, you have to really insert it. Will it stay there? Yes, it will. And it makes it really black weighted, and it's kind of a little bit crooked when it posts. So I'm not sure that it's a great poster, okay? But it posts, okay? There you go. That's it. Now, in terms of value, this pen goes for, I believe it's $103 US, okay? Which I think is an excellent value. I mean, any of those resin pens that I showed you in the pen comparison are all $200 plus. The London Pen Companies, I was lucky. There was a big sale that he was having because he was switching. I believe he was switching either sites or I forget what it was, but he was getting rid of his inventory, and so I picked them up at reasonable prices, but not at this price. So, in terms of value, that is a 10 on 10, if you will, and it's a definitely like. Is this going to be a go-to pen? Yeah, absolutely it's going to be a go. Both of them will. 10 on 10 there. It's a go-to pen for me. So there you have it. It's going to sign my review. And thank you very much for joining me. Please subscribe. Any comments, please leave them down below. But you know what, Conklin? I think you've hit a home run with these... with this 1898 Misto. Congratulations. And I recommend that you folks take a closer look at these pens. Very, very nice addition to my collection. There you go. Thank you very much. Be well. See you soon.